Well, thank you for coming on my show, Danielle.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yes, what can you tell everyone about yourself?
Well, I've been acting for 6 years.
Okay.
I absolutely love it. I live here in Vegas, so this is kind of my base as of right now. Yeah, and I don't know, I just love storytelling, creating art. That's my
Uh-huh.
thing, whether it's dancing, singing, acting, all the above.
And you grew up in Florida.
I did, yeah, Orlando, Florida.
And what
I
made
was,
you go from Florida to Vegas?
yeah. So I actually was in Orlando until I was about 14 years old,
Okay.
and then I was quite like the rebellious teenager. So my parents actually sent me at 14 to live with my dad in Panama. So I went to live there, and I found breakdancing, and that became kind of my passion. And once I moved back to Florida, once I graduated, moved back to Florida, I was like, well, I'm just going to move out to Vegas because that's the entertainment city. So I came here, became a dancer. I was breakdancing a lot, doing private events. And then a few years later, kind of made my way to acting. But yeah, essentially like dancing, breaking.
And then also you do boxing, is that correct?
So I don't actually do boxing, but I was working on a role that she's a boxer. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna start taking boxing classes. And I actually like really got into it, and it was so much fun. I loved it. I was amazed at the discipline it takes and the technique behind it. I feel
Uh-huh.
like you watch it and you don't really understand so much technique that goes behind it. So yeah, that was my jam for a few months.
So you don't do you do it still or no?
No, I've been wanting to take more classes, but that
Uh-huh.
was kind of the role I was focused on at that moment. And then when the role switches, tend to go to like what the character does.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't boxed in probably like a month and a half. But I loved it.
And you've been dancing since you're 3 years old, is that correct?
I have, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so you can say you can call yourself a professional dancer?
For sure. I would say I'm not like the traditional dancer because I did so when I started it was like ballet,
Hmm.
hip hop, jazz and all that. And then when I was 16, 15, 16, that's when I found breaking. So I kind of ventured off into like more of the hip hop. And I still do like choreography, musical theater type dancing. But if you ask like what was my specialty, it would definitely be breaking. So I would say it's
Breaking.
kind of like a little, yeah, like my specialty.
Okay. And then your acting career, you were in of course 2024 you were in Temple and it's like a short film, is that correct?
Yeah.
And what can you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so we are actually still shooting that. So
Okay.
we're halfway done with it. It's been amazing. That's actually the one that she's a boxer. So that's what I was working on it for. But it's a really interesting film. It's about a daughter that basically has to kind of put everything on the line to save her father,
Hmm.
regardless of what that takes. So it's really somebody having to overcome a lot, having to deal with a lot of obstacles in order to save someone she loves. So yeah, that will be coming out probably by the end of this year,
Okay.
or I want to say next. Yeah.
And where can people watch it? Is it going to be on YouTube or is it going to be on Netflix?
So we're probably gonna do the film festival circuit first. I think that's
Okay.
what we're gonna go first, and then from there we're gonna find out what it's gonna be on. But I'll definitely keep you updated, let you know when it does come out.
Yes, please do. Please do. Of
Yeah,
course, you were in 2022, you were in Ember's Edge. Is that correct? And what can you tell everyone about that?
yeah, wow, that was such a fun project. So I actually did that project with Rising Again Productions.
Hmm.
They're actually out here in Las Vegas. And that was really cool. I loved it from the beginning because it was a theater audition. It was kind of in the form of a theater-esque audition. So it's not like, your normal audition, you go, have the sides, do it
Hmm.
with like
Hmm.
casting director. It was kind of very theater style. We actually did like the, as if we were there on set, and we got to do it with the other actors, got to do it right there with switching partners. So it was really cool. It kind of made me feel like I was in a theater production. It was just fun from the start. Um, yeah, and then once I got it, we shot it in Pacer Lake, Utah. So we were there for like 2 weeks straight. No signal, no internet, no Wi-Fi. It was amazing, and we just got to like totally immerse ourselves in the project.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that one was really interesting. It was like a kind of like a thriller, like a romance thriller.
Uh-huh.
Um, and that was it was a love story,
Hmm.
basically, what can get in the way of love, and
Right.
you know, kind of ultimately where their paths led them. Their different mindsets, their different perspectives, their
Hmm.
different decisions, how different they are, and if their love's enough to keep them together. So yeah, it was just so much fun to go out in the woods and kind of feel like you're in the middle of nowhere, just immersing yourself into this character and with amazing people.
Right. And you had
Fun.
no cell phone signal.
No, not at all. Well, we did at the Airbnb that we were at. So when we would go there, we had like limited service. But for me, it was just like, okay, I'm just gonna like take advantage because we would shoot like 12 hours a day in the woods, um, and then come back, and then we had little like I remember sometimes my phone didn't work and like the other guy's phone worked. So I would make my call to like my daughter, let her know I'm okay and I'm good. But that was it. I was like not on social media. It was so nice.
Well, to me, it's so weird to be away from technology. I'm sorry. I have to
Yeah,
24/7, it's so you panic. You're like, oh no, what am I gonna do with my life, right? Um,
yeah.
but you got used to it.
Yeah, it's funny because I feel like it's essential. Like I get it. I feel like I'm on my phone. I need my phone, emails, you have things to do, but it was so nice just to get away, and I feel like as an artist
Mhm.
sometimes to fuel like we need that just to get away from society,
Right,
other things
right.
going on, and just immerse ourselves like in our surroundings. So I feel like that really just helped the film a lot. Like all of us were just stuck together. We had to face each other. And it was like really artistically stimulating.
Like a family thing.
Yeah, yeah. So now I try to do that. Now I have my moments where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the mountains for like, few hours, not have my phone. Um, just find ways to get away a little
Yeah.
bit and like recharge.
You said you're in Vegas. I've been to Vegas. I love Vegas.
Where are you?
I'm actually in New Mexico.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
but I like the West Coast more. I travel a lot. So I mean right now I'm in Oklahoma City, but I go from Vegas to Arizona to California. I travel a lot. So I'm on the road a lot. Like I like to road travel. So but
That's fun.
yeah, I love Las Vegas. Been there. I'm a hiker. So
Oh,
uh
yeah. Okay. We have good mountains.
yes, a lot in New Mexico and Arizona. And well, it's really more in Arizona and Nevada area and Utah, but
Mhm.
so you were again 2022. You were in Sudden Passion, and then of course Calling Your Name as well in those films. So what can you tell the audience about those two films?
Yeah. Well, Sudden Passion is a project I worked on with Bobby and Renee Peoples, and they're amazing. I loved working with them. They are a couple that actually they work together, have their own production company out here, and they came from, I believe it was Atlanta, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, but but they came in and they're just highly motivated people.
Uh-huh.
I met them, I think it was an acting workshop we had here, and I immediately loved their energy and how committed they were to their projects. And I auditioned, got that project Set in Passion. And that one was really fun because it was kind of one of those
Hmm.
triangular, if not four people, like love stories. Very like, dramatic. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right, right.
That was a really fun character to play because on the outside you see one thing and then something completely different is revealed. So that was a lot of fun, just kind of playing with the different
That's
layers of
good.
like the secrets
Uh-huh.
behind what he was holding.
Hmm.
But altogether, I honestly just loved working with them. Calling Your Name was a sci-fi project we did. That one was really fun, working with the green screen and just kind of, with that, I feel like it's a lot more, it's different. You don't have things in front of you. So you get to use your imagination a lot more. So that was fun. And that one I was like a holographic kind of
Right.
image that pops up. So yeah, that was fun. I just honestly really enjoy throwing myself into like different roles and
Hmm. Hmm.
totally different things.
Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm really glad, and I can really tell you have this, you're passionate about acting, and that's really amazing. Uh, what do you use as yourself to get yourself into character on set?
Mm, that's a good question. I use a lot of things, to be honest. When I decide to get into something, I feel like I
Hmm.
fully go into it. So I have studied like all the different acting techniques, from, I mean, basically everything. And then not only that, but I'm the person that will write the full backstory
Hmm.
of my character. Um, so, but in all, I feel like it's great. It's great to have tools, but I feel like what I've arrived to is really you just use what works best for you. So I feel like depending on my roles, it's different. Sometimes for Temple, the one she's ex-military, the boxer, she has a lot of pain and
Hmm.
hurt, and she's trying to seek revenge and
Right,
trying to
right.
save some love. So I feel like for that, music, a certain song specifically just really got me there. So in certain moments, it's music. I also journaled a lot about her. Um, in other characters, it's really just going to the woods and kind of seeing what it's like to be this character, what it's like to
Hmm.
be going through this. So yeah, I feel like it changes. Music, you know, putting myself walking around as the character, I think that helps me a lot. A lot of the times I do this all the time. God, people around me probably are like, my family, they're like, all right, can you be like you for a second? But I'll walk out with the character, with
Yeah.
how they walk, how they talk. So that kind of like immerses me in their world. And then before set, I feel like the day of, I kind of let it go and I really just let myself listen to the music, maybe journal
Hmm.
like them. Yeah, but I think it just comes down to like in the
Right.
moment, whatever gets you there,
Oh,
you
that's
know?
good.
Yeah.
Next follow-up question is, have you ever had a hard time getting out of character?
No, I
No.
don't think so. No.
Or perhaps changed you in a permanent manner?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like for me, it's not hard to get out of the characters because I think when you allow yourself to experience what the characters feel,
Hmm.
I feel like it's a lot more healing, if anything. Like once you come out of these characters, you almost feel like more healed as a person, at least for me, at least. So I don't think I get like stuck in characters. If
Hmm.
anything, these characters kind of teach me like more about who I am.
Right. And
And uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to stop you. Does that mean
Oh, you're
it
good.
like it will change how you view life in your personal
Oh,
life?
yeah, 100%. I think every character I play, I think they kind of challenge me to like view the world differently than I would.
Hmm.
So I think number one, I would say, is it really teaches you like not to judge anybody. You know, you don't know what anyone's going through. You don't
Right.
know what their thoughts are. So I feel like that's one thing I've learned to understand other people's point of views, and also just every character kind of gives me something to walk away with. Like Temple, I feel like she gave me a lot of strength.
Hmm.
um and and it's more of a strength like you can overcome. So I feel like that's something that that character gave me.
Right.
um you know, I would say Kara from Ember's Edge, she gave me this like will to survive. And you know,
Mhm.
every character just I say like sticks with me in a way, and kind of makes me more rich as a person.
Right.
I think I'm learning more about the
Hmm.
world, about people, and I think the main thing is empathy. Like I notice as I play characters and as I act, my empathy grows. So that's been really cool. It's kind of you know, it's not just acting. You're learning about the world, and it
Right.
teaches you to be a better person. Yeah.
That's amazing. Since you said you're a mother,
Mhm.
you know, do you want your if you said you have a daughter, please correct me if I'm wrong, but would you want to have your daughter as well be an actress, or do you want to have her decide her own path and her career?
Well, it's funny, she is an actress, of course. Um, yeah, so she has been doing theater since she was like 5. And I wasn't gonna like push her in it or anything. But when she was like, I want to say 4,
Uh-huh.
she I kind of was like, okay, well, I noticed she loves to like sing Disney songs, and she like would grab like a fake, you know, baby mic, and she was
Right.
belting, and I'm like, all right. And like she'll be the characters, and we would play make believe, and you know, she would be in it. And I was like, okay, well, let me see if it's something she likes. And then she got into theater. So she's been doing theater for like 4 years now. She was Moana in her play. So she loves it and she's really good. Like it comes natural to her. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't push her to do anything she didn't
Hmm.
want. Like if she told
Right.
me, you know, tomorrow, mom, I don't want to act anymore, I would be okay with that. Cause yeah, I just feel like at the end of the day, like we have to follow our own passions.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know, when I was a teenager, I had certain people's opinions kind of press in on me of who I should be and what I should do. So I think as a parent, like I try to stay away from that, but I do love that she acts.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, I just had to ask because some parents they struggle because they don't know what to do, and the reason I say this because um probably most parents in the entertainment industry, I say most, but they feel afraid because their son or daughter will feel that peer pressure, like going to audition, am I not good enough? Why did I get this role? And then you have maybe fans who are not your fans and be so critic about you. Oh, your role was horrible, and stuff like that. And I think that's why a lot of
Yeah.
parents are probably wondering, can my child handle the pressure of like, okay, you did a great in that film, but maybe the other film you did is like people are getting, I hate to say, but kind of not nasty, but not nice comments saying, yeah, you could have done better in your role. But I just had to
Yeah.
ask you what your viewpoint was that.
Yeah. Well, you know, she's had to do auditions for theater, and she's also done like singing auditions. And I kind of see it as it also has a flip side of the coin. There is that side. But I think there's a great lesson to be learned. Like I've had moments where I've had to tell her, hey, you didn't get the part. Or just in like 5 auditions in a row or something like that. And I think there's a great lesson. I always try to remind her, it doesn't matter what people think of you.
Mm-hmm. True.
And it's and you have to do what you love. If you fully commit as a person to whatever you do and just full heartedly go into it,
Mm-hmm.
not caring about
No
other
one
people's
else.
perspectives, yeah, then there's freedom in that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, knowing there will be other opportunities to not give up. And then also
Mm-hmm.
I remember I had this conversation with her a few weeks ago. I'm like, there's going to be people in the world that love you, and there's going to be people that hate you. Um, but if you're centered in life, then you're going to be okay. If you don't base your identity off of people's opinions
Right.
and
100%.
and yeah, and also be able to stand up for yourself. Like, I'm okay with doing that, or I'm not okay with doing that. I think in a sense, it's really nice to be able to give my child those lessons so early on,
Mm-hmm.
because regardless, acting or not, they get it in school,
Right,
right?
right.
Kids get bullied. They have to deal with kids
Mm-hmm.
saying mean comments to them. They have to deal with, when they're really liked and then all of a sudden people don't like them, and they have to deal with it regardless. So I feel like it's just great to, we can't guide every step, but we can help them learn the lessons through it. So what I've noticed is her confidence go up. She's
Mm-hmm.
learning not to care what people think of her. She's willing to, when she's nervous, to just sing through it and like
Yeah.
let it out. And oh God, it's so beautiful to see as a
That's
mom.
amazing. I just had to ask that because, most parents who will be watching this is wondering, who's struggling to decide, their daughter or their son really wants to, they're coming to them and saying, Mom and Dad, I want to be in acting, and they're like, well, let me think about it. And then I believe that you answer their questions, that, that you can give the mothers and parents out there that advice you gave them, that they can tell their kids or have confidence for them as a parent to say, okay, let's put my kids in this stuff and go from
Yeah.
there. So that's
Yeah.
very good advice. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, back to you is I just had to ask you since you're a mother. So what is your short-term goal as Miss Danielle, and what is your long-term goal? Where do you see, your acting career going? And what is your goal of maybe in, short-term goal in 6 weeks or 6 months this year? What is your hoping goal for your short-term goal?
What is my what?
Your
Sorry.
short-term goal.
I would say my short-term goal is really just to have momentum every day in what I'm doing. And to make sure kind of everything I do has a purpose. So I wouldn't say specifically it's like, book this show or do this. I guess for me, the short term would really be, wake up and make sure you're doing something artistic. You're immediately, just letting yourself create. And I think when I do that, it's kind of and that turns into the long term, obviously, because it's habits. But the short term is really just to stay on the path of artistically creating, of when opportunities comes along, you know picking them up and doing
Mm-hmm.
it. And let's say headshots need to get done or whatever it is, you know having the momentum and
Mm-hmm.
sustaining momentum behind everything, I would say. And the long term is honestly to just impact people with this art form that we have. Because I think as actors, as filmmakers, artists, singers, whatever you do, I think we have got such an amazing platform to like
Right.
impact people and
Uh-huh.
impact the world. Um, so honestly, my long-term goal is just to impact people, to tell stories that heal people, like raw stories that really just, when you've seen that movie and you're like, I don't know why I'm bawling crying right now,
Right.
you know, um, yeah, make people feel
Have
impact.
you, I'm sorry, have
Yeah.
you experienced that?
Oh my God, all the time. All the time. What was I watching? I cry so randomly though. Like literally I was watching Lord of the Rings. And I was watching the Gollum Smeagol, when he's like Gollum's talking to him and then it's Smeagol. And I'm like sitting there crying and I'm like, poor Smeagol. Like I have those moments all the time.
So you cry easily.
Yeah, sometimes. If I allowed myself to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
But I really felt for Gollum there.
where I totally understand, you have that moment, you like get emotional in the film.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of power in that. I think like I was saying before, we have such a just a great platform where we can reach God millions of people. So I think that's what it is, really just allow myself to be used to be a vessel to spread
Hmm.
spread healing, spread love, spread light to people through this craft we have. Because I know there's been films that I've seen and I'm just like, wow, it fully like changed me. And
Hmm.
so yeah, that's kind of the long term. And I would say the short term is really just those building blocks. In
Hmm.
order to get there, you got to stay consistent, have that momentum, and I think not lose the passion and not forget why you're doing what you do. Because I think as well in this industry, it's so easy to kind of forget it, right? We have auditions and we're like, oh my God, I've been doing this how long and I'm not here yet. Or it's easy to fall into this feeling like you're not good enough for
Right,
the
right.
industry. So I think really what I've really been focusing on in my career is like forgetting all of that. Of course, there's the business side. You have to be involved and you have to know
Hmm.
what's going on, but not forgetting about like your artistry
Hmm.
and why you do what you do, because I think at the end of the day, like that's going to sustain everything.
Very true, very true.
Yeah.
100%. We as actors and actresses and everybody in the entertainment industry, we're telling people stories. We want to
Yeah.
make people cry or feel the emotions, and we're changing people's hoping we're changing people's views and points in the film. So um,
Yeah.
that's very true. Now, what is the most exciting part about acting that you enjoy?
Hmm. That's a loaded question. Um, what is the most, I think, hmm. All right. Well, I don't think there's just a one part to that for me, but I would say one of them is really, I think surprising yourself. I think allowing yourself to be free, getting over fear. I think acting takes a lot of courage. I think it's like, allowing yourself to let all these emotions come up and allow yourself to fully be in a moment and to be extremely vulnerable. And it's really hard to be vulnerable, in front of people. And I think for me, it's really exciting because it's like nerve-wracking sometimes to allow yourself like, oh God, I know if I cry right now, I'm gonna be curled up on the floor, bawling like a little baby. But it's like, whatever, who cares?
Right, right.
You know what I mean? Like, who cares? And I think that's exciting to me to be able to overcome that, allow
Hmm.
yourself to be vulnerable, and then come out of the other side and you're like, wow, like it's a new world. You know what I mean? It's just to be free as an artist, to express. I think that's what's exciting for me. And also playing these different roles, just totally different people's lives. Temple, she's ex-military, she's a boxer, and when I first started I was like, well, I don't know how to box, and I was like, I've never been in the military, like I feel like I'm a softie, So what do? I get to research, about people in the military and take boxing classes and allow myself to, immerse myself in this character. And it's
Right.
fun, so much fun. And then when I came out of it, I'm like, I am a boxer. You know what I mean? Like I could be in the military, like just finding these aspects of yourself, and just playing,
Right.
not
And
taking life so
now you're
serious.
doing boxing class.
Yes, I actually was thinking about it yesterday. I want to take another class because I found I did like one of those free trials on a class pass, and I found this small, just father son owned little small boxing gym.
Hmm.
And I got the best boxing classes like ever. This is from like, second, third generation, like boxer family. And I felt like I was in it. And it was so much fun. And then I tried another class pass at like, one of the general boxings. And I was like, this isn't the same. But yeah, no, I'm gonna go back to boxing classes. I'm upping my aerial skills. I used to do aerial silks a lot. So
Hmm.
that's kind of something I'm diving into. Um, Practicing breaking. I'm just all over the place. But that's the
Boxing
fun
is
part too,
right.
learning new
Boxing
skills along.
seems fun, but you could get a black eye. You have to be careful when you have to duck and all that punching moves. So it's a good way to
Yeah.
test your body movement, right?
Oh yeah. Move or get hit.
Right.
Yeah, and,
Yeah,
and
you
then they
don't want to get
gotta
hit.
cover your eye.
I've heard stories of people who got hit and they said it's not fun.
Oh,
It's
I bet. Yeah, no, I haven't been that far, not yet in the boxing, but God, I remember like when I was little, I got hit in the nose with a basketball. And I
wow.
remember that scarred me like all my life. Like I still think about it to this day. And I was like 7. And I'm like, man, like truly just getting punched in the face over and over, like, yeah, doesn't seem comfortable. But
So you really got hit
yeah.
with a basketball on your nose?
I did. Yeah. I was like 7. But I kind of, that's equivalent for me to like getting hit in the face. I feel like ever since then, I'm like, I don't want to play basketball. Don't want to get hit in the face. And,
Was that
get hit
on
in the nose
purpose
and
or
blood.
what happened?
I was just playing basketball with my dad and brother, and they like tried to pass me the ball, and I was like, oh, just yeah. And it scarred me. So that's why I'm like, can I play temple? I'm a softie. And I'm like, yes, I can. I'm gonna take boxing.
So now your dad and your brother is like, well, we just ruined our sister's career in basketball.
You know what? I don't even think they know. They will now, but
Where are they on now, right? If they watch this
it was a childhood trauma I carried with me secretly.
secretly, really, you really didn't tell them?
I don't think I told anyone.
Oh, this is the first
Yeah,
time you're telling everybody.
you're the first one.
And the audience, of course.
Yeah.
The audience will be watching this. They'll be like, "Oh, we didn't know about this." Your own family and your relatives will be like, oh, "Okay, we now
And to
know."
add to that story a little too, I have like, like a little ridge right here on my nose. And growing up, I always thought it was because I got hit in the face with a basketball. It wasn't, but I literally believed that probably until like, I don't know, like 8 years ago or something like
Yeah.
that.
Well, there's more secrets you're telling me about it.
So I'm telling you, so many secrets. Yeah. It's just gonna keep going the more we talk.
Right, the nose. Were you thinking about? I have to ask. Were you thinking about having a nose surgery if you thought it was
At
from the
one
bus?
point in my life, I did. I was like really insecure about my nose. And I did. I like hated my nose growing up. And I did think about, I was like, okay, well, when I'm older, I could just get a nose surgery. And then it's really funny and ironic. But once I became an actor, I'm like, I don't really care anymore. You know what I mean? I'm like, I do embarrassing stuff in front of the camera, in front of people,
Uh-huh.
anyways. Like, whatever, I don't care. So I don't think about it anymore, but I used to.
That's good you didn't do it. But I mean, I don't care if you did. No offense, but What role would you like to see yourself on set? Like, what kind of character? What's your dream role?
Hmm. Hmm. That's a good question. I don't really, if I think about the role, I wouldn't specifically say I know what role, but I do
Mm-hmm.
know, um, what characters have stood out to me. Um, I think of like Viola Davis's career,
Mm-hmm.
Meryl Streep, and like Meryl Streep and Sophie's Choice. I think about Viola Davis and Fences and um, just other great actresses. And I think it really comes down to playing roles that really impact people, that really have a strong message of overcoming, and not only overcoming, but like really what it feels like to be going through a struggle and to get out of it. Stories that are relatable and that can relate to people's lives in hard times. I do have a heart for people with mental illness and
Mm-hmm.
overcoming that. That's something I'm really passionate about. There's actually a character I would love to play. I want to one day turn it into a feature film, but it is a character with a mental illness after the loss of a child.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to explore kind of characters that we see them one way, we see them in mental illness or, something else, other layers, anger, pain, whatever, but then uncovering like why are they the way they are?
Right.
Um, I think that's something I'm really interested in, exploring and just raw kind of yeah, just raw characters that speak to people's hearts, honestly. I'm open to playing like any kind of
Mm-hmm.
character. I think it really comes down to it has to touch my soul as a person.
Right.
And I feel like it has to be a story to where I'm like, I feel like this message needs to get spread.
Right. Well, I'm
Um,
also a big mental illness activist, advocate.
really,
Yes. So
that's amazing.
yes. I'm
Oh,
a suicide prevention advocate as well,
oh,
and
wow.
me personally, I've lost three friends to suicide. So I totally understand about mental health. Mental health is
I'm
very
so
important
sorry.
that thank you. Um, so, losing three friends to suicide, and we have to discuss about mental health, and mental health is a serious topic, and
Yeah,
we don't know what anybody's going through inside out. We can look at a very good example. The person I really liked as an actor was, Robin Williams. Nobody, knew he had the deep
mm,
depression like that, and
yeah,
but we have to discuss, mental health. It's very important. We don't know what anybody's going through, in friends or not friends, or people we meet. We don't know
yeah.
what we're going through. And it affects any age, any age. So mental health
Mhm.
is very important that we all, as a community in the entertainment industry and not in the entertainment industry, we have to talk about it. So,
I agree. And I 100% agree. It's something that we have to talk about. It's something that affects everybody, and it's something that we don't even see sometimes. Well, a lot of the times you don't
right.
notice someone going through something. And I think that's why to spread messages not only of people struggling, but them overcoming.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, I've been through my own experiences, where I didn't think I was going to come out of it, and I did. And for me, it's God that pulled me out of that tunnel. It's my faith and just being centered. That
Right.
was a huge part of it for me. That hope, not letting go of hope, and the faith that you'll be okay. So I think that's why it's a huge thing for me to just spread hope. You feel like you're in that tunnel and it's really, really deep, and it's long, but there is light at the end. Um,
100%.
yeah, so I love that you're an activist. That is amazing.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you very much. It's very important that we all have to, talk about mental health is very important that we, like I said, we have to 100%, spread awareness, suicide prevention, anxiety stuff. We don't know what anybody is going through. So
yeah,
it's very important that we talk about it. So I'm
yeah,
glad you're gonna make a film about it.
yeah.
As yourself, do you have any upcoming projects that you're working on?
I do, yes. One I can't talk about.
Right, I understand. Not yet. So I
Not yet.
totally
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah. Yeah, so that one's probably like the biggest, and that's coming up in like a month or two. And then we are still in the process of shooting Temple.
Right.
So I'm really excited. I love this project so much. The people, I just want to say the people I've worked with have been amazing. And I remember when I read this story too, I was like, I'm in love with her. I have to tell this story. Um, because it really resonates with somebody that's been through so much pain,
Hmm.
and kind of like just this callus right around their heart, and like how that kind of shapes somebody, but how that is sometimes from pain, and just, but at the end of the day, she's going so far to save her father. And it's such a selfless act. So anyways, I fell in love with that story, with the people involved. So that's been really fun. And we'll probably be done shooting that in like a month or two, I would say. So we're in the process of that. I have one coming up, and yeah, just kind of staying open to what comes my way. Um, yeah.
Well, I wish you could talk about the one you're working on, but I totally
Me
understand,
too.
we were trying, but next time.
Yes.
So most people want to know, except your family, maybe your friends, but maybe your friends don't know, but what do you do for fun when you're not acting, you're not being a mom, you're not doing auditions, you're just having a moment to yourself? Like, what do you do?
What do I do? That's a good question. I work on scripts now. I go snowboarding. That's what I do. In the winter, I've developed that skill, and it's so much fun. I'll go out here to like Lee Canyon. It's kind of an hour away from where I live, and then I'll go to Utah. So I love snowboarding. In the summer, I've started surfing. I started that probably I think it was last year.
But there's no
So just
beach?
no, well, I'll drive out to Cali and
Okay,
like
I
go
was about to
surfing.
say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then I went to Hawaii, I think it was 2 years ago, and
Uh-huh.
like literally just got on a surfboard. And yeah, just tried to do it. After looking at some like YouTube videos with my partner, we're like, okay, let's go try this. Um, so yeah, I snowboard, I surf. When I'm not doing that, I don't know, I love reading. I love reading like philosophy, fiction,
Uh-huh.
plays. I'm learning the piano. That's been fun. Simply piano. And God, I don't know. If you were in my house, like you'll just see me randomly like dancing and singing. Like I think I'm like in a musical all the time. I don't know.
Who
I
do
like
you,
go outside.
if you mind me
Huh?
asking who you dance to? Taylor Swift, Lady Gaga, Adele. Who's your number one person that you dance to?
I mean, I love musicals. So like I was listening this morning to Anastasia, the musical Anastasia.
Yes.
And I'll like, yeah, I was like singing to that song this morning, and I was like crying to it in the car. And of course, because I watched it as a kid. So I love all of the um Disney
Crying in the
movies.
car.
Yes, and especially when they turn them into like musical theater, I just love it. Like it just fills my soul. Um, and then yeah, I don't know, just musical theater. Anastasia, I love Hunchback of Notre Dame. I
Hmm.
did that production. That was last year. And that was so much fun to be a part of. I was a gypsy and I'm in love with the music. Literally, I was like living my dream. I was like, I am in the Hunchback of Notre Dame theater production. And I remember being like 6 years old on the floor, like imagining I'm Esmeralda. Um, so that was fun. Yeah, so I don't know, you can find me singing, dancing, climbing a mountain, snowboarding, surfing,
Yeah.
or reading a book.
So
Yeah.
I heard, and you can correct me, confirm, but I heard that Hawaiians, I shouldn't say Hawaii people, I meant Hawaiians, they believe that they're better than the Californian surfers.
Really? I have not heard that. I don't know. I haven't heard that.
That's what I've
But
heard, but and then I heard the Californians think they're better than the Hawaiians. They think, "Ooh, we're better." I don't know. I'm just that's what
maybe
I've
it's because
heard.
Hawaii has the warmer water.
Uh,
I feel like it makes such a big difference. Like going in that Hawaii water, I was like, oh God, it's nice and warm, and you could just like walk in. And then California water is like, all right, I'm gonna put on a wetsuit and I'm gonna like paddle as hard as I can in this water so I'm not cold. So I don't know. It's a different experience. And I'm like a wimp for the cold, so I would go in that Hawaii water like all day long.
yeah, it's cold. Yeah, California's beautiful, but the water is cold.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy. What is your advice for any young actors or actresses out there who wants to get into into the entertainment industry? And also the follow-up question for that is, you can answer this one, is do you believe that they need to go to college for acting?
Mm. Um, my advice would be always stay a student, always be open to learning new things, but not boxing yourself in either. Being true to who you are.
Hmm.
I think it's really important to stay true to who you are because at the end of the day, they want you. So I think it's easy to God try to be like somebody else or like you think they want it a certain way and you read a script or whatever and you think, okay, this is what they're looking for. But I think there's so much power in just owning who you are and if you can connect to the work you're doing, I think that's the most important part. If you get lit up when you read this, or you find it, you just enjoy the work you're doing, and it sparks something in you. I think if you stay on that path with your work, again, the artistry, if you bring your passion, your soul to everything you do, then I think you're on the right path. I think when you start kind of doing it to please this person or you think it needs to be done this way, then you're veering away from who you are, who you're called to be in this.
Hmm.
So I think just yeah, just having the confidence to know first off you're enough. I think every actor struggles with that. You don't think you're good enough, you are. I think that's so important to know. Like you are good enough and you have to know that. And the world needs your light. And
100%.
if you don't shine it, no one can shine your light for you. So
Hmm.
I think everyone needs to know like they're unique in their own sense. So if you can just own your uniqueness, do it the way you think. Of course, there's directors and they're going to guide you to which way. But I think if you can stay true to that and overcome all the rejection, because there's so much rejection. But I think in a sense, if you can just chug along and know that the rejection, the no's are all making you a stronger artist,
Hmm.
better actor, a better person. It kind of humbles you in a beautiful way. And if you don't give up, um, there's just beauty on the other end because it's just pure self-expression and you can do it for others and you can allow yourself to be a vessel. So really don't give up, stay true to who you are and like know you're enough. Like don't question your worth and learn. all there is to know. Um, what was your other question?
Oh, it's okay. No, that was a very good. I like that. 100%. Now, my other question is, do you believe they should go to college, or is it required to be in acting, or do you think, just go for it?
No, I don't think you have to go to college. I don't think you have to go to a school or college. I do think learning and always having a student mindset is really important. Like me to this day, I mean, I've been acting for 6 years and I'm still in classes. I never went to a college, but I'll go to an acting class and and I think what's beautiful about that is
Hmm.
you get the chance to act with other actors and like you get to connect and you have a community. And I think
Hmm.
that's important. I don't think you necessarily need it, but I do think yeah, I think it just helps to be in an environment where you're learning about the craft because it is a craft. Of course you can learn on set. You're going to learn so much on set. You're going to learn in classes. If you do go to college, that's wonderful too because
Hmm.
they have great college programs for acting. So I don't think there's any specific route you have to
Right.
take, but I think just being open to know, hey, this is a craft and I'm going to learn all I can about it. Because the more you know, I think it gives you the more freedom to like, okay, I have everything I know now. Now I have confidence and I can kind of make it into my own. So I think just learning, but no, I don't think you have to go to college. Hey, but if I had the opportunity to go to college when I just got out of high school and I knew I wanted to be an actor, I totally would have done it because it would have been so much fun. But yeah, I think just staying a student, learning the craft, learning
Hmm.
from other actors. I personally love being in class because I'm always working on something. I get to work with different people. Um, and I think there's also an aspect of that where it keeps your inspiration flowing. And there's
Right.
accountability. When you're not working, it's really easy to get discouraged. And especially, gosh, like when you don't have an in-person person doing scenes with you or just reading with you, it can be very discouraging. So I think having a class, having other artists around you is invaluable.
Well, that's amazing. 100%.
Yeah,
That's a good message. Um, Totally agree with that. A lot of people are wondering if they have to go to college or they have to, do all this valuable lessons. But, if you can't afford college, you can go to, try to go to acting school or get a group of friends and do some acting. So that's
100%. Yeah,
100%.
and I was even thinking, yeah, this was a little while ago, but I was like, okay, well, if I can't be in classes right now, I'm literally going to open my garage and invite like 5 friends and let's just do scenes,
Right.
even
100%.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Open the garage and do some scenes, make some movies or make some, TV show or, comedy documentaries or stuff like that. So, where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Do you see yourself maybe moving to LA for acting or New York or
I see myself, you know, uh going wherever the work is, wherever this industry, wherever my passion like calls me, I will go. Um, it's so nice though that now, you can go somewhere for work. You don't necessarily have to pick up your life and move, but I think I'm open. I don't really have any plans of like where I'll be. But of course if I get a great movie, in somewhere in London or whatever, I'll be there. I'll be there for 3 months. I'll go. I don't mind, and I'll be back. Um,
to Vegas?
so yeah, so I'm really kind of open. Whatever comes my way, if I
Hmm.
feel like it's for me, then I'll pack my bags and I'll go.
And a heartbeat.
Especially if it's Hawaii. If it's Hawaii, you don't even have to ask me. You don't
Right.
even have to pay me. I'll just go.
Right. Anybody would go to Hawaii, of course, if they say
Yeah,
Hawaii. Yeah, warm weather, beautiful
exactly.
weather. Well,
Yeah.
so how's the weather there, by the way?
It's actually really nice. It's like I think it's like 79, 80 today. And it's beautiful because Vegas, it's like cold, and then we have our little spring, and then it gets like 115 degrees out here. And everything just burns. So it's
Burns.
really nice. Yes, it burns. God, we we tried to grow like cucumbers last year in our backyard, and they were great until summer came, and then it just like literally burned the cucumbers.
You're like
So
burn the
yeah,
cu I
it
like
burned
your
the
I like your
cucumbers.
description. You're like literally burn the cucumbers.
Yeah, yes. So it's like beautiful right now. It's like everything's blooming and it's like green and there's a little bit of wind. So nice. I wish it would stay like this forever.
So when you mean burn, not fire, right? It just didn't.
No. It's like Vegas summer, which it's like literally you feel like you're stepping out into like a blow dryer. It's like a blow dryer in your face. That's how it feels. And it's hot. It is hot. Like people hibernate or go to the pool in summer here.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love hot weather, so it wouldn't
Do
bother me.
you?
Yeah.
Okay, I like it too. I do because I'm from Florida. So like I love the heat, but Vegas heat it's is a little different. Definitely no hiking, but you can go in the pools. We have great pools here. Yeah.
And I heard that Phoenix humid heat is different than Vegas. That true?
Oh, really?
I don't know. I think it's the same, right? Same
Well,
humidity.
how is Phoenix heat?
It probably gets 110, 115, I heard.
Okay, well, I don't know. Maybe it's similar.
Yeah.
Maybe I wonder if it's like the humidity in the air or yeah, I wonder. Because we're
Yeah.
close, both kind
Right.
of like deserty, but yeah, I wonder if it's like humidity or something. But it gets hot here. So we are enjoying this spring. I feel like it's like, new season, new me.
New season, new me.
Enjoying it.
So
Yeah.
being on set in Las Vegas summer, it's miserable then if you're outside.
Huh. Yeah, definitely like have some sunglasses, sunscreen. Oh my God, sunscreen out here because it's so dry and then the wind and we have like sand. So yeah, definitely sunscreen. Cats, fans. I don't know though, because I feel like being on set, you kind of just like deal with any conditions just because you're in your element. But yeah, it definitely, especially like out in like the desert area, it can get hot. Yeah. Mm.
Well, like I said, I love the human, and you love the human, so that's
Oh my God, I love it.
yeah,
Yes.
we both love the human. Wow. Well, thank you for coming on my show.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
I would love to have you back and have you talk about your next film project.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to.
Yes, and you have to let me know the film that's coming out that you can't talk about, which I
Okay.
understand, but
I will let you know
do you know
when
a
I
re-
can.
do you know a release date or anything?
No, I don't know a release date yet. Well, that one we're not even filming yet. That one I just got booked for.
Okay.
So, I don't know, when it's gonna come out, but I am really excited about it. It's definitely gonna be a fun challenge, totally outside of what I've done. So God, I love the creating part, just putting everything aside and you have a character that you fully get
Right,
to
right.
discover. So I'm excited about that, but I can tell you about Temple. So that will be out soon. And
You
we're
can't
still
tell about
shooting
the other
that.
one, but you can tell about Temple.
Yeah, I can. And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, Temple's been a lot of fun. I'm really excited
Yes,
to
that's
get this
good.
one out too. And the director, TJ Penton, is awesome. He's great to work with. And yeah, that one should be coming out this year. So I'll
Okay.
definitely keep you up to date on that one.
Yes,
You can
please
see my
do.
boxing moves.
Yes.
Don't take that stance. That's not the stance.
But you know, you're boxing. You've been practicing.
I have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
And
When
then
I
when
put my temple face on, it's there.
and then when it's not there, no more
Then
boxing.
yeah, then it's the soft punches.
But you're taking classes now.
I am. Yeah. I need to get back into it because like I said, I kind of held off because now I'm doing more aerial and like breaking again and singing. And so it comes in waves, you know?
Right. That's a lot you
Yeah.
have to do. That's a lot.
But it's fun though. I can't complain. You know what I mean? Like I'm privileged doing this.
Hmm.
It's such a blessing. I am so grateful.
I'm so
Um,
happy.
yeah, and I'm grateful to be here. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank you. And you're please come back on my show and you're more than welcome to. I can't wait to have you back.
Thanks. Me too. I'll come back
All
because you
right,
got those
thank
palm
you.
trees in the back. So I'll come back.
Yes, please do. Well, thank you for coming on. I will talk to you soon.
You're welcome. Thank you for having
You're
me. Have
very
a great
welcome.
day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.